Hey everyone, and welcome to Already Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Star Trek The Next Generation Season 1, Episode 13. It is called Angel 1. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, this episode features a planet in which ladies are in a dominant position of power over the men. I did kind of laugh at the start of this episode when like, oh, it's a Class M planet. Oh, it's got technology like Earth from the mid 20th century. I'm like, oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, I was really expecting this to be one of those episodes.
Yeah, and it wasn't
when they
quite
said all
that.
that.
In fact, if anything, I'd argue that they've got like an execution device later that's like a laser beam that like disintegrates someone.
Way better
like,
than anything we got now.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, 20th century my ass.
Yeah, give me one of those.
But yeah, so the Enterprise is looking for survivors of this freighter ship that was damaged, and they attract the escape pods to this planet where they might have survived. But because of the slow speed of the pods, they'd have been there for a number of years by the time they get there. So Picard sends down an away team. Riker goes down with Troy and Tasha and Data. And Troy kind of takes the lead almost because it is a society where the women's in power more than the men. And of course, as soon as we arrive there, we see men are the servants, women are all in power, and it leads to some kind of delightful moments where Riker will interject with something, with an idea or something like that, and it will get something like, "Oh, this man there's speaker," or "This man," they'll belittle him in some way, and Riker will give Troy this like look of like, "Can you believe they just said that?" And it really made me laugh.
Yeah, but then the leader's just horny for Riker anyway, so.
Well, yeah, she's horny for him, but I was kind of reading this as like she's never she's never met a tough man like this before. This is a powerful man. She's not used to a powerful man. So the sheer masculinity of William Riker was too much to comprehend.
Free
beard as well. That said, though, we do get to see his magnificent chest of hair. He's got a lovely fur.
Got a reasonable amount, doesn't he?
He's got a lovely fur. Because at one point he dresses up in their apparel, and the men all have these weird, like, chest showing.
Yeah, I thought it was really weird because Tasha and Troy are like, "Why are you wearing this?" And it's like, it's a diplomatic thing. We always do this, and I'm like, "He's right. You do this like all the time. Why are you questioning it now?"
I don't know, they were having fun. I feel like, I don't know how Tasha was feeling about this planet. I feel like, on the one hand, she's like, yes, we're in power, but on the other hand, like,
I'm not getting any.
Yeah, not enough sex. Although, she was very quick. At one point, Data picks up some perfume. Apparently, they don't have perfume in the future. And he's like, what's this? And they try to explain it to him, and Tasha's very quick to jump in with, it's an aphrodisiac, Data. And they have to explain what aphrodisiac means, and I'm like, what? You're telling me that perfume is just used as an aphrodisiac? No one just wears it to smell nice? Come on now. You tell me when I'm walking out in the street and I'm walking past people and I'm getting whiffs of perfume left and right, they're all on the way to have sex. That's what you're telling me. They're all en route for sexy times. So, Cara, did you enjoy Angel 1?
It's a bit rough, isn't it?
It's not good. It's a bad episode. However, it's an amusing bad episode, so I can't completely hate it all entirely, because I was laughing a lot at Riker being objectified. That was amusing me greatly. Tasha and Troy having fun with it also amused me. Yep. There's a weird subplot in the episode where the entire Enterprise
getting sick.
Yeah, like everyone gets sick in the Enterprise. It starts with Wesley, who hits Picard with a snowball out of the holodeck. And I was like, Picard, just throw him off the ship. Just do it.
You can see him thinking about it.
He's thinking about it.
He's like, how far can I punish this little shit for that?
Wesley, things on a starship
just happens on the Enterprise.
Happen. See that it doesn't just happen again. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, yeah, fry him. And it gets to the point where everyone on the bridge is sick except Geordi. Although he has one little fun moment where he's Worf asks, "Oh, should we do this thing?" And he's like, "Make it so." And Worf just like turns around and gives him this glance, like, seriously, Geordi, you want to do this? But there's I'm not saying there's no fun moments at the end.
It's such a weirdly pointless subplot, though, isn't it? Because it kind of just comes out of nowhere. They're all sick for no real reason. Dr. Crusher is for some reason fine, even though she's dealing with literally every sick person.
It doesn't serve much of a purpose because the ticking time clock element's still there anyway. Because like they have to go and deal with some Romulans, and that presents the time factor of getting these people off the planet, and that's fine.
Before the Enterprise has to leave, yeah.
But they have this whole sickness thing, and it feels like there's never really an explanation for what it is, why it's there, or where it came from. I mean, there's some fun moments at the end where Picard's like tries to say engage and he can't because it's like engage.
Yeah.
And then Riker has to say it. That was an amusing moment, but I don't know what purpose any of this served.
Yeah, when because it left Data on his own on the bridge, just doing everything.
Yeah, because he can't get sick.
Yeah, and when they come back, Riker gives him this look, and Data's like, "Oh, I don't know what you're on about. I didn't do anything."
Yeah,
just doesn't get it. It's enjoyable enough.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, but the actual main plot in the thing is they're looking for these men, and it turns out the government here see them as being dangerous individuals, hostile individuals, and it turns out after they find them that they like living here, they don't want to be rescued, they've all taken wives, and the reason why they're seen as dangerous is because they're seeding the idea that men should be equal in society.
How dare they?
And it's, do you know what it is? It's like there's some lofty ideas in this episode about how to tackle this and kind of flip the roles and say something about it. I don't think it actually really does, though, and a lot of the elements where it tries to do something just come off as kind of goofy.
They do, yeah.
And kind of silly. It's just, I don't know, it doesn't quite click. There's other reasons why it doesn't click. There's some of the guest stars are a little bit weird. There's the goofy outfits again. It doesn't feel like it's taking it as seriously as it should be to actually make it hit home. I mean, obviously we get to a point where they want to execute these guys. And
yeah, but up until that point, they're like, your planet, your rules, do what you want.
Who?
Right, yeah, our crew.
Yeah, I was talking about the government and the planet.
Yeah. I mean, up until the point where they're going to execute them, our crew are just like, do whatever you want. It's your planet. We're not going to stop you. It feels like, even though it's very clear, like, hey, this isn't quite right, and they all kind of agree it's not quite right. They're just like, well, not our problem. Feels a bit weird to me.
Yeah, but what's your complaint? Because they don't intervene with the execution either. They try and talk them out of it, but they can't intervene. They say that repeatedly.
Yeah, I know, but it is intervening, and it is. They were going to just beam them up to the starship until they couldn't. Until like Riker actually ordered Crusher, like, all right, okay, beam us all up. And then Crusher was like, well, actually don't, because everyone's sick. You'll all die. But they're going to beam them all up. They were going to intervene.
No, but they had a choice then. Like they'd actually given them the choice at that point. That wasn't going against anything the women on the planet had said. They were given a choice. They said, no, either they're going to get executed or you're going to take them away, because they want rid of them. They're quite happy for them just to leave.
Yeah, but at the end, they're still going to beam them all up again, aren't they? Because Riker says, all right, Data, all right, change that. It's just 3 to beam up. He's going to beam them all up again. Like, it's very clearly implied that he was going to do it anyway.
Is that? I don't know if it is. I don't know if I agree with this.
Why would it change to only beam up 3 of us?
Because earlier on it was going to be beaming up everyone, but they couldn't because this was just a change in the order from the previous scene.
Yeah, exactly. But they didn't have permission to do this now, but they were going to do it anyway, clearly.
What are you talking about? You're making no sense. No. In the previous scene, they had permission to do it. And then they couldn't because, right? And then the following scene, after like the government saying, no, they can stay here, but they'll be exiled and they'll live off somewhere else. And it's like, okay, fine, Data is just 3 to beam up. It's just a change from the earlier order. Why does that imply they're going to do anything anyway?
Because my point is, at the point where they are now, where they're going to be executed, permission is revoked to get rid of them all at this point. It's like, no, all right, fine, we're executing them. We're getting ready to do it. And then he's like, okay, we'll change the order. We won't just take them all anyway. That's how it came across to me.
I completely disagree with this. He's just changing it because earlier on they were going to beam up like 6 or 7 people or whatever it was. And then here he's like, no, Data is just 3 to beam up. It's just a change from the previous scene. I get no implication he was going to like go against everything and break the rules here.
Okay. It really felt like it to me.
I get not even a hint of that. I think you've completely misread that.
I don't know. Fair enough.
Yeah, I didn't get that at all. Yeah, I think... Do you know what the problem is? I think that they had to have more of the actual, because the only male on the planet that's not like one of the people from the ship or whatever that have landed there is
It's
this
the one
one.
like servant
It's this one servant dude, and there's never really any indication of
that he's
much.
unhappy or anything.
Yeah,
Everyone seems quite content, apart from. Obviously, we learn later that they're not. Obviously, because the survivors from this ship are seen as like a symbol of the movement.
yeah.
But we're not seeing any of this movement
No,
anywhere.
we don't see any of it. We see there's a couple of times where he's spoken down to, but it doesn't necessarily feel that much different from an employer speaking down to an employee necessarily. Versus just straight up sexism. So it's hard to kind of to have any kind of read on it. And there's like a pointless twist where the one woman on the council who's really against trusting Starfleet is actually the wife of the lead guy who's like a fugitive.
Yeah. Like her whole thing was she was voting against letting Starfleet take them away because she doesn't trust them.
Yeah,
it wasn't because she didn't trust them. It was just because
it made some amount of sense. Like she doesn't want them to take them away, right? That part made sense. I felt like it didn't really add much to the overall. I don't know. It felt like there was some bite missing from this episode. They weren't willing to just do it.
Probably because we spent too much time with a bunch of sick people for no real reason, instead of doing the stuff on the planet, seeing these things on the planet that we could really have done with.
I feel like there's a very there's the potential's in there for a really hard hitting episode that kind of really makes you think about gender dynamics and inequality. Instead, it feels like it just kind of pokes almost. I don't want to say it quite just pokes jokes at it, but it almost is just doing some surface level fun stuff without really. Because I feel like most of the first chunk, when it's like Riker's like being spoken down to, it's mostly playing as kind of awkward comedy more than anything else.
It is, yeah.
Rather than any kind of like real how dare that man speak to me or whatever. And I almost feel like if you really want to do this well, it'd have to be a multiple episode arc, if not a whole season of like a story where you don't do like this really obvious stuff. You do it more subtly. You do it where it's more baked into society in a way that's not just the servants.
That would be obviously that's the ideal way to do it. But I think even just doing it as a single episode, I can see this being so much better by like removing 90% of the stuff on the Enterprise with all the sick people, and devotes that to seeing some of this society being unhappy with the status quo, rather than just the handful of survivors outside the city and the leader. That's it. That's all we really get. We don't get an opinion of any of the regular people.
No, we don't. We don't get to see like kind of normal family or anything like that. We don't get to see anything of that nature. What I will say actually is I was really appreciating the city view of the city on the planet, right? It's still like a map painting or whatever, but I was like, yeah, this is actually quite a nice map painting versus like really the simplicity of like what the original series used to have. This felt like they were trying to make it look like it was a bustling city as opposed to just
here's a background.
Yeah. And it was still clearly like a painting and just a couple of lighting effects, but it looked much more impressive than the original series. So
I agree with that.
I was noticing it. And I was going, oh, it's kind of. I was into it. Yeah, it's a frustrating episode because I did have enough fun with it that I didn't think it was a chore to watch. Like I thought it was like decently entertaining in places.
It went in easily, yeah.
But ultimately, there's a lot of missed opportunities here, given what they're doing. And it feels like it was going for the lowest common denominator of just, here's cracks some jokes about men being mistreated, because that's funny, right? Which almost does make it feel too kind of flippant about the issue itself, rather than actually trying to explore
addressing it. Yeah.
Which, and I'm not saying that's offensive to men. I'm saying it's offensive. It's really offensive to women that we're belittling it almost this way. Like, oh, look how funny this is.
It's funny because obviously if they'd made this with just the traditional dynamic of men were in power and women weren't, and made the exact same jokes, you'd be going, this is a bit shitty of you, innit?
Yeah, like if they went down to the planet and it was just like the olden days where men were in power and they were speaking down to Tasha or Troy, and it was meant to play as like the same way, it would feel really insensitive. And they get away with it because obviously it's Riker that's getting this, but by making it just such a silly joke, which was making me chuckle because his reactions were well played, but ultimately it's like, yeah, you're kind of making light of the whole thing a little bit too much.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, bit of a murky one. But hey, we got to see
Maybe we get
Riker's.
something better next time.
We got to see Riker's chest. I mean, that was nice, I guess.
Yes, yeah. Positives where they can be found.
Well, what's coming next time you ask? The next one is called 11001001.
Is it another Data episode?
Let's look at the description of IMDb. The Enterprise docks at a starbase for repairs where it is commandeered by a race of technologically linked aliens intent on using the vessel for their own purposes. Okay. Could be a fun action episode. Bit of a siege.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad premise.
Could be into it. So we'll see how it goes. But Angel One was, yeah, it was a poor mediocre episode with some fun elements, but there's clearly a lot of things that could have been better about it. But that is Angel One. That has been episode 13 of Star Trek TNG. So let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the show and the channel and everything we do here, you can head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv, and you can support us for as little as $1 per month. One of the perks you get, of course, is you get these Star Trek reviews a week early. On top of that, do check out, say, movie reviews. We do movie reviews every week, more or less. Me and Connor have been doing Batman movie reviews this month because it's Batman's 80th birthday, so we've had a bit of a themed month out of it. We've done the two Schumacher, the two Burton, and we're right in the middle of the Nolan films right now, so go check out those and have a look-see. But that is us, so thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching Star Trek, guys, and to everyone but Connor, live long and prosper.